In this week's Parashat Chukat, we have the famous occurrence when Moshe Rabbeinu takes the Jewish people to a certain rock, and they were complaining for water. They were so thirsty. Hashem says, take a stick, hold the stick, gather the nation, and you're going to talk to the rock. You're going to talk to the rock. V'dibartam el hasela le'enehen. V'natan mimav, and the water will come out of that rock, and it will take care of the Klal Yisrael. And we know that instead of talking to the rock, Moshe Rabbeinu actually hits the rock, and all of the water comes flowing out. And there's a punishment here to Moshe Rabbeinu, a very, very deep punishment. And everybody's perplexed. We know that he doesn't go into Eretz Yisrael. Some say that this was the last item that happened that caused him not to go, which was in addition to something else that happened. But either way, after this entire episode happens, the pasuk says, "Ya'an lo he'emantem bi lahaktisheni," because you did not listen to me and be mehiktasheni, you'd make a kiddush Hashem by talking to the rock instead of hitting it. You're not going to go into Eretz Yisrael. So this is very confusing to all the Mefarshim. I saw the Ramban. The Ramban actually quotes the Rambam. And he says, what went on over here? Why is Moshe Rabbeinu being punished to such an extent for what happened? And the Rambam says a very deep idea. The Ramban does argue on it, but I want to just bring down this to the Rambam. And he says that when Moshe Rabbeinu was trying to get to this rock and see which one was supposed to bring forth the water, it's brought down that he couldn't figure out which rock it was, and the people were screaming at him. And he said to them, Shim'u na morim, listen, you rebellious ones. Says the Rambam, listen to these unbelievable words. Everything that Moshe Rabbeinu does, they don't look at it as Moshe Rabbeinu's doing it. They look at it as if Hashem is talking to them through Moshe Rabbeinu. When they saw that Moshe Rabbeinu got angry, Amru shehu alav shalom, en bo pehitut midah, velule shahaya yodea shahashem ka'as alenu bebakashat hamayim, v'sha'anachnu hichesanu oto, yitbarach lo yakoes. When Moshe Rabbeinu gets angry, he's so negated, and he's such an anav, that it must be that it's not him that's angry. He became a funnel only for what Hashem's desires were, what Hashem wanted us to hear. So if he's mad, that means Hashem is mad at us. And he's mad at us that we asked for water. And he's mad at us because of the way we handle the situation. Now, Hashem was not angry at them. Hashem was not angry at them. He says, and that's why Hashem punished Moshe Rabbeinu, because you represent me. I'm not angry at them for asking for water. And from the fact that you got angry, that showed the people that I'm angry, and that's not what my ratzon is right now. And that's why he was punished. Very, very, very deep. Of course, we're talking about the great Moshe Rabbeinu, the most humble man that ever lived. And he was judged on a very, 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 very strict level, being that he was in the position that he was in. But how do we apply this to ourselves? This is very important. When we're raising our children, when we're raising our students, our children look at us and they look up to us. Our students look up to us. In fact, this doesn't only apply to children and students. There are people around us that look up to us and want to see through our actions, what does Hashem think of us? Meaning, when we judge a person very, very strictly, and we get angry at them for something that they do, they don't just look and say, that's what you think of me. They think that's what Hashem thinks of me. Example, you have a boy, he has a hard time getting up in the morning, and it's a battle for him. And now the father comes and he says, what are you doing? You're a lazy bum. You're not doing anything. What is this, that? Get out of here. What? I don't understand. What are you doing? He doesn't just think that his father thinks he's a lazy bum. He now thinks that Hashem thinks he's a lazy bum. And the truth of the matter is, we have to be very careful. Because Hashem is very patient. And we have to be very patient. Just because a kid can't get out of bed in the morning to go to shul doesn't mean he's a lazy bum. It means he has a battle that he's going through. And when people fall in different areas, it doesn't mean that they're disasters completely. It doesn't mean that. And when we tell a person, Has v'shalom, you're finished. There's no hope for you. Really? Hashem doesn't think there's no hope for him. We have to understand that when we are the builders of our families, of those around us, of our students, what we say has massive ramifications. The judgment call we make to them has massive ramifications. And we have to think very clearly before we make any comment, before we get angry. Is this what Hashem really thinks? Is this what Hashem wants me to give over to this child? Because he's my partner in this child. And that's the lesson to learn from this whole thing over here. When Moshe Rabbeinu got angry and Hashem wasn't, why are you doing that? Why are you representing something that is not what I want to give over? And whenever we have any interactions, we have to think that same exact way. Everyone should have a Shabbat Shalom.